Hello, beautiful souls. Today's episode is so good. And before we jump in, I have some exciting news to share. If you've ever wondered where you're blocking money, this is for you. I've created a free quiz to diagnose your money wounds so you can heal them and unblock yourself to receive more money. Just go to moneywoundsquiz.com and answer 6 quick questions to get your insanely accurate and potent results. And if you're loving my vibe and want to work one-on-one to call in more feminine energy wealth, I would love to hear from you. You can shoot me a DM on social media or go to emilywilcox.com to learn more. Hello and welcome to the M Makes Money show. I am here fresh off of the Thanksgiving holiday week. So by the time you're listening to this, it'll be a little later than that, but I sincerely hope that everyone is having a beautiful holiday season. I am here to talk to you today about destroying the rules around money. Destroying the rules around money. This is something that has been really revolutionary in my life. And I was inspired to record this episode because it recently came up with one of my business besties. She was talking about how she finds herself in a situation where her credit cards are full. And she's kind of in this weird duality where she's feeling some lack, also feeling like she's on the right path in her business. And also, she has a lot of money tucked away in stocks and retirement accounts and things like that. And I could really relate to what she was talking about because for years, I had a lot of rules around my money as well. And I think this is something really common and is often considered actually like good financial practice, right? That we have money in these certain buckets that we don't touch, or we only touch them for these specific reasons, right? This is my retirement fund, so I'm not going to touch it. And this is my home fund, so it only gets to be spent for a down payment. This is my kids' college fund, so we're not going to touch that. And we created all of these buckets of money with these different purposes, and we put all of these rules around them. And in theory, it makes sense, right? And I subscribed to that for many years. So if you're listening to this and you do this too, know that I'm not here to make you wrong. What I'm here to do is explore the energetics around this and underneath this and behind this. Because what I found in my own life is that I was artificially creating lack. And I can say that this is what was happening with my friend as well, right? She's feeling like she has maxed out credit cards. She's feeling like she doesn't have enough money coming in to cover her expenses. And yet she also has over 6 figures in monetary equivalents that she's not allowing herself to touch. So her everyday experience is lack. And the truth of the truth is that there's an abundance, but she's not touching the abundance. And that is so much how I had my money set up. And I actually thought that this was really helping me, that if I felt the lack, then I would behave differently, that I would pinch pennies, that I would watch my budget more carefully, and that it would actually lead to more abundance. So I had the mentality of like squirreling away money. So I had like different IRA accounts, different 401k accounts, different whole life insurance accounts. Like I had a lot of different money saving and growing vehicles, and I would never look at them. In fact, like my goal would be to forget about them because then they wouldn't get touched, right? What I understand now is that we actually manifest based on our feelings. And so whatever the predominant feeling is in your life, that's what you're an energetic match for. And when I was behaving in this way, I was an energetic match for lack. I was an energetic match for not enough. I was an energetic match for just getting by. That's how I felt all the time. That's how I genuinely felt. I didn't actually feel abundant. I didn't feel like, ooh, I actually have so many secret money stashes everywhere. This is magical. This is amazing. I didn't feel that. What I felt was the account that I looked at regularly where there was just enough. And I really weighed my purchases against, did I really need it? Did it make sense? Was there enough money coming in to cover it? I didn't want to go into debt and all of these different things. And so that cycle perpetuated. And I didn't get rich from these methods. It wasn't like I had squirreled away so much money that I was actually just getting so rich while living, on getting by. I was just creating more feelings of lack, more feelings of not enoughness, more feelings of just enough. And not just feelings of it, but evidence of it as well. And what it took for me was actually taking a fresh look at money. And when we understand money to just be energy and to be a neutral tool, then we can look at it differently. And so I suggest that you do this, even if it's just a thought exercise. So I give you full permission to go through this thought exercise with me and change nothing. If you still desire to have a 401k that you don't touch, and a kids' education fund that you don't touch, and a retirement account that you don't touch, and a whole life policy that you don't touch, you're allowed to do that. You are allowed to do that. For me, when I looked at what the true energetic signature was around all of those rules, it boiled down to a couple things. It boiled down to, number one, I don't trust myself with money. So if I actually gave myself access to all of this money, there was a little part of me that was afraid that I would mismanage it, that I would spend it on things that weren't in alignment with my long-term vision. And so therefore, I had to create rules. I had to put money in different accounts. I wanted to not see it every day so that I wouldn't feel tempted and I wouldn't make a decision that I would later regret. So that was one thing, mistrust of myself. The other piece of it was mistrust of money. So not trusting that the money wouldn't leave somehow, that the money wouldn't go and never come back. I didn't have a belief system at that point that money could grow through circulation. And so it was almost like I was putting money in jail, right? Because if it's in jail, then I'm in control and I know where it is and it's not going anywhere. So I had all of these little money jails. And then we wonder why more money isn't wanting to abundantly pour into our lives. Well, the money that was in jail called all of its little money friends and was like, don't come to this lady. She's going to put you in jail. You don't want to be here. Stay away. Keep your distance. Money wants to go where it's going to be enjoyed, loved, adored, circulated, where it gets to go, it gets to come back. Like, think about a romantic relationship. Would you choose to be with a partner that locks you away until it has tons of rules around what you can and can't do? Or would you want to be with a partner where there's a lot of trust and you can each live independent lives, but you also really enjoy your time together? You can go, you get to come back, it all works, it functions. There's a level of trust and love that's at the foundation of everything. Most of us want that in our romantic relationships, but most of us are not in that type of a relationship with money. And I certainly wasn't, with all of these rules and with money jails left and right. Something that I heard from a friend of mine is that money grows through circulation. It's like blood. Blood can only do its job if it's pumping and if it's moving around. It's got to be able to carry the oxygen to all the different places. If it's stagnant, if it can only stay in one place, nothing works. It doesn't function, right? And we end up asphyxiating, basically. We need blood to circulate. That's actually how it functions. And if we can borrow that belief for money, that it needs to circulate, that's actually how it functions, it allows us to have a less grippy relationship on money. For me, when I allowed myself to remove some of the rules and really anchor in that I trusted myself and that I trusted money, and that money could grow through circulation, that it could come, that it could go, and then it could return tenfold. What it allowed me to do is actually to feel more abundant. My predominant feeling now is not lack. It's not just enough. It's not just getting by. I truly feel so much more abundant. I feel like I'm in a relationship with money where there's more surprise and delight, where there's more unexpected money showing up in ways that I couldn't have imagined. There's more joy and generosity in spending. And it's interesting because right now, there actually is less money in my bank accounts than there used to be. But my feeling around it is so different. And I really trust in the investments that I'm making. And I know that the money is working on growing and multiplying and returning to me. Doesn't mean that you need to do it my way. It's really just an opportunity to examine, where are you creating rules around money that are causing you to feel a way you actually don't want to feel? When you can reclaim your sovereignty, reclaim your power, when you can truly trust yourself with money, when you can truly trust money, it changes the game. It changes the game. And if this resonates with you and you notice that you're actually in abundance, but you've been creating a false sense of lack in your life, then you get to look at that and you get to do something different and you get to set yourself free. You don't have to continue living that way. That's the message that I had for me, and that's the message that I have for you. And I'll tell you, it has been the most liberating thing. So liberating to not feel lack day in and day out the way that I used to. And when I think back on that, and to the fact that it was self-inflicted, like it's so wild. It's like almost comical to me. Like, what was I thinking? Why did I do that to myself? But when I honestly look at it, it really is part of our predominant belief system around money. It's so common to put rules around money. So I don't have to make myself wrong about it. I don't have to demonize the teachers that are teaching these belief systems around money. It's just that they're not understanding the energetics. And when we look at the energetics, if we're creating systems and rules around our money that are causing us to feel lack, then we will attract more lack into our lives. If you're okay with that, that is your choice as a sovereign being. If you're wanting to feel more abundance, if you're wanting to feel more trust, if you're wanting to feel more joy, if you're wanting to feel like money gets to come and go and come and multiply and return in greater supplies, that's a different feeling. It's a different vibration, and you've got to make different decisions in order to make that happen. Let me know what landed for you. Drop into my DMs, tag me in a comment, share this episode. It would mean so much. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll talk soon. Thank you so much for listening to today's show. Changing the way we think, feel, and talk about money will change the world. I truly believe that. It starts with you tuning in, and it spreads when you share this show on Instagram and Facebook and tag me at mmakesmoney. And you know what moves the needle the most? Taking just a minute to leave a 5-star review on iTunes. This show isn't free to produce, so let's multiply those dollars invested to help this show reach a bigger audience each week. Thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate it. And lastly, if you want more connection, more M Makes Money style riffs, and a safe place on the internet to talk about money, jump into my free Facebook group, The Money Club. It's linked in the show notes. Until next time, I'm wishing you health, happiness, and boatloads of money.